13, the homie Sara Hodges. First time on this show. I think it's the first time we've been able to get you during the week. Like you're not traveling, you're not in Miami, you're not in LA.
Don't play with me. Y'all been hating on me like referees hate on De'Aaron Fox.
That's a big lie.
I'm surprised he's not doing this in a cabana somewhere, because he just be making moves like that.
I would. Hey, if you guys wanted me to, I'll do it when I was in Miami. I would do it anywhere you guys needed me from my phone. But I can't promise that it would be PG.
I watched enough of your Instagram stories to know we couldn't have had you on while you were.
My girls were like, "What's up?"
The big bachorette party there.
Let's go up.
By the way, I that's facts. That's facts. Sarah's the one who kind of started all of this. By the way, like Sara came into the before Marshall. Before Joe, Sara came to the old studio and we did some segments together. Like Sara was pushing 12 o'clock. So I was like, Sara, like, yo, we're about to go on the air. I'm like, where are you? She's like, I'm in the car putting on my makeup. Sara, this is radio. I need you up here right now. So we come up and like you had been here for a little bit at the time. And I know, Joe left, Marshall left, and it's been dope how you have me and Kenny as a part of the CBS family so often. So
you guys are part of the family. Seriously, having you guys on is so much fun each and every week. I'll come home like after our Sunday shows and watch us on TV because I have it TiVoed or whatnot. And I'll just be laughing and I'm like, is it just me or is this the best show like in Northern California? Like, I don't know. I think like having you guys just really adds like such a spark to our show. And, you already know how much fun we have. So if you guys haven't checked out D-Lo and Casey on Sports Sunday, you guys have to, because it is insanity. We have so much fun.
Good times. And as we go back to one of our previous comments, your boy Urban Meyer, that's your boy. He's back.
Hate the sin, not the sinner. And Derek Carr's words, hate the sin, not the sinner. That's all I got to say.
Derek Carr.
By the way, we'll point out that Sara, for those who don't know, is a big time Las Vegas Raider fan as well. You guys certainly have an interesting off season ahead of you. What do you think they should do before we get to the debacle that took place in Boston last night in the NFC Championship and all that? What do you want to see the Raiders do this off season?
I mean, first they have to get a new head coach. I love Bisaccia. I really do. And maybe he is the guy. Like, I just don't know. Like, I'm not in the locker room. From what I'm reading and from what I'm hearing from the rest of the guys, they really like him. But you need to just build this franchise around Derek Carr. And I think that they've sort of struggled to do that in the past. And we've seen Derek Carr just improve, especially the last 2 years. So let's roll with him. Let's rock with him. Let's get him these receivers that he needs. I mean, we saw just the beginning of what was going to happen between him and Henry Ruggs. Like Henry Ruggs' first season, it was an adjustment period for him. He was getting into the NFL, trying to keep 2 feet in bounds. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Like, it's different, right? Mm-hmm. But then that second season, we just really saw the potential of Derek Carr and Henry Ruggs, that deep threat that really we've been missing. And then we missed when obviously all of that happened and he was no longer with the team. Right. So, I don't know. I just think we got to build the team around DC, get like a big coach, maybe Harbaugh. I don't know. We'll have to see.
I'm always interested in this. So you're from Southern California, right? Mm-hmm. And so the Raiders going to Vegas, that did nothing for you. Like that didn't bother you at all, right?
I mean, it bothered me some because I was covering the Raiders, right? Like it was so much fun. I got to go to Oakland. I got to cover the Raiders when I was here. And so I was like, dang, like I'm not going to even be able to go see my team. But at this point, I think when you're a Raiders fan, you're sort of used to them moving. It's kind of like, where are they going to end up next? Like, who knows I'm sure they'll be in Vegas for a while now, like, especially with that stadium and then they're bringing in money. And so that's that. But I think that you're sort of just used to it. I think even like Charger fans, Rams fans, like if there's just so much movement, you just go with the team. You're not happy about it. You just deal with it.
Wow. Well, you guys should first. Sports Sunday Live next year. Niners, Raiders at the Death Star. Sports Sunday Live.
I know, right? Mike, if you're listening, we got to tell my news director.
We should set like your. I don't know how many people know your story. Like you covered Saban. Like you lived in that like Auburn, Alabama area. Like you've been in the trenches of college football too.
Oh yeah, like this business is, look, everybody has their own journey, and I'm not hating on anybody's like come ups or the way that they get to the top. But nowadays, it seems like the journey it's so different than when I first started. When I first started, you start in the middle of nowhere in a market 200, which is what I did. And you work your way up and you have your camera and you're out there and you're shooting and you're, have your laptop and you're writing your highlights, and you're literally your highlights are what you're shooting on your camera. So you're doing all of this and it's a lot of work. Like it's so much work. You don't know anybody. I was in Greenville, Mississippi. There wasn't even a Starbucks in that town. Okay. And like, I didn't have to be there, right? I could have got any job, but it's what I wanted to do. And I wanted to get good at it. Like, I think what's so different about like guys talking sports and girls talking sports, and you guys are probably used to it because your whole lives since you were little kids, boys, they just talk sports. It's just what they do all day. The lingo is normal. But for a girl to talk to another girl about sports all day, like that's just not going to happen. Like not many females are into sports. So, my whole life, I obviously have 3 brothers. I talk freely about sports with them, but it's not consistent. And so it was nice to just sort of get my job there, learn how to just talk sports out loud without like, thinking twice about what you're going to say. You just kind of build those steps. And that's what I was able to do, starting in the trenches, like you said. It's not easy. Like, it's not easy. You don't, I'm a vegetarian. Imagine being in Mississippi and Alabama trying to eat veggie food. They're like, what? Come again? And there's no hours of operation there. They open when they want, they close when they want. It's out of control.
Lady, here's some butter soaked in broccoli and gravy. Just here's some, eat that.
And then I'm like, wait, but gravy has meat in it. Oh, it does? Like,
oh, shoot. Well, just eat the butter and broccoli and call it a day.
No, for real. Seriously.
What's been your favorite stop so far?
What's funny? Like I honestly had the best time in Mississippi in Greenville. And I think because at my first stop, and I'm not even like meaning to like throw shade on my first station, but the managers there were just like not super legit. They just didn't understand me. Like I'm a Cali girl coming. My swag is just different. Like I'm super just slow. Like I'm not like hype. And like when I'm on air, like you guys all know, I'm not sitting here like talking fast. Like that's just not me. Like I'm just a mellow person. And I just don't think they knew how to take me. Like they just had no idea. And I felt like, honestly, like they didn't really like me to be honest. And I don't think that they did. I'm not going to get into all the details about it, but I went to Mississippi. And when I went to Mississippi, they were like, everybody loved me. They're like, you're a cool ass white girl. They would tell me like, just like, I would just have so much fun. Like, it was like, they embraced who I was, my swag. I could be myself. I could feel comfortable being myself. All of a sudden, like I was confident, It's amazing like how managers and your bosses can like really determine how good you are. Like they can and they can't, right? They can because they can like suppress just like your own energy and your own vibes because they make you feel like, oh, okay, don't do that. Don't do that. Or they could totally embrace who you are and love who you are. And then you become even better than you ever thought that you could be. And that's what I had in Mississippi. Like I would do, all different types of segments, sort of like what we do, but where I could just like be myself, talk how I want to talk. And my bosses totally embraced it. They loved it. I did cool little segments, put like little music in it and just had a really good time. And the reality is like, I'm never going to live in the South again. Like that stage of my life is over. And I just really enjoyed the, 2 years that I was there and just living that lifestyle. It's so different than anything I've ever lived. And to say that I was able to do it is just pretty cool.
Is it hard for you? I've never asked you this before, and I've actually meant to like a million times. Is it difficult, especially since like you're the face of sports now on CBS 13?
Right.
There's no like I know Ben comes in, but like Marshall's gone. Joe, like it's Sara Hodges. You are the sports department. Right. Is it difficult for you being such the main face of a television network station and navigating social media?
Not really. I don't, you know what? It hasn't been so hard. Now I'm just going to be real because like I'm just so myself. Like I don't put any extras on it, or I do have to think twice about like obviously what I post on social, but it hasn't been hard for me just because I've learned to just accept what I can't control. And I think that's what a lot of people, when they get into this business, they're, because I went through it, like where my bosses would tell me like, Auburn's playing LSU. That's a game I need to be at, right? But my boss is like, we're not going to send you. And it's hard, it's hurtful. It hurts. Like you've been covering them all season. Like you get to this is a dream to go to Death Valley and cover this team and so much opportunity, and you get so hurt. And, it was like that for a little while. But then now, like at the end of the day, like I accept what I can't control. I throw out what I want to do. If it's accepted and it's, then perfect. If it's not, then I'm like, okay, cool. Like I move on. Like I can't control those things. They're out of my control.
Now your bosses say the Kings are playing. We're going to send you. And you're like, oh, come on. Come on. This is not fair.
These guys
are not fair.
Like, Kings, it's so interesting about like covering teams. Like people are like, how do you like, if they're playing your team, like the Lakers, how do you like not cheer for the Lakers or not? You guys know because you guys not like cover sports, but like you start just like appreciating players for who they are as people almost. So it becomes like, yeah, it's still a game, but you can say like, Russ, what's going on with him? Like he's in a slump, like he's trash. Like I don't want him on my team. Like I don't care that we bench him, or whatever. Like you can just, and after covering players and stuff, you just kind of know what it is. Like you can just, there's no bias anymore because if your team deserves it, then they'll be there, right? Just like anybody else. Like,
so what's it say when your team loses by 53?
I just think it's a reflection of just the organization, as like sad as that is. Like it's just, and we're talking about last night's game, and it was a nightmare of a game, and it's been a nightmare of a season. And I try to stay positive. Like I'm not even a fan. You see what I'm saying? But like I'm trying to stay positive because you want to cover these guys and you want them to be successful because you're in the locker room with them, not obviously since COVID, but you're on Zoom with them all the time. You watch them play, you root for them because you get to know them as people. You want them to win. I meet the fans out here. I want their team to play well. Plus I'm talking about them, right? Like you don't want to keep talking about the same sad story. But the reality is that that's what we do each week, and changes need to be made within the roster, probably the coaching staff too. I was listening to Alvin Gentry last night, and he's like, look, this isn't just about the players. He's like, this is just as big of a problem within our coaching staff as it is on the roster. And I felt that because at the end of the day, it starts at the top and it trickles down. And that's with anything in life. It starts at the top, it trickles down, and it's trickling down. And there's winners on that team, but they're not winners here.
Wow. It's tough. You're listening to ESPN 1320 KIFM West Sacramento, KRXQHD2 Sacramento, an Odyssey station, and driven by Lasher's Elk Grove Dodge. We got the person I affectionately call the boss, Sara Hodges, CBS 13. Sara,
before you dive into that question, as Sara just laid out, the team is trash is basically what she said. I'm paraphrasing everything she said. We're going to send you to see that. We've got tickets to see the Sacramento Kings February 9th take on Minnesota at the Golden One Center. Caller number 3 right now, 916-349-1320. The only thing that makes watching the Sacramento Kings easier to digest is when you can do it in person with some friends, with some good food, and with $27 beer. So 916-349-1320. We've got you covered. Casey, go ahead. Caller number 3.
The Timberwolves?
No, they play Minnesota.
I mean, yeah. Yeah, they play Minnesota. You get to see Ant-Man. You get to see That's my boy. 40 last night for Ant-Man. Yeah. But so with this Sacramento Kings team, I want to know, because you've covered the team for a couple of different seasons now, and you've been at these games, you've seen the Golden One Center and things of that nature. What is the vibe to you? Is it as depressing as it is maybe to me when I'm out there compared to
more depressing than
other years? It's like nobody's there. Nobody's really invested in what's going on. and they're just waiting for the inevitable. That's the feeling that I get.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. It's so different than it was like 2 years ago. I mean, when I was so impressed when I got here, it's not like y'all had made the playoffs anytime soon either, or even that you were going to, but it didn't matter.
Mhm.
And it should matter. And I'm not saying that, but I'm just saying the fan turnout, it didn't matter. You would have thought it was a playoff game, the way that fans were cheering, going nuts for their team. And that I'm sure a lot of it has to do with COVID. Like you got to get everybody tested, or you have to be, you have to have your vaccine. And I'm sure some of that has to do with it, like why fans aren't showing up. But like the building is empty.
Mm.
It's really, really sad to see, because you ask any NBA player in the league and they're going to tell you, like, you go to Arco, you go to the Golden One Center, like it's lit, like they're lit. It is not lit anymore. It's depressing. And I feel bad for some of the new guys that are on the squad who really didn't get a chance to see just the fan turnout and just how crazy Kings fans can be and how lit they can be, because it hasn't been that within the past 2 years. This season has just been bad.
Poor Sara talking about it's never coming back too. She sounded like it never coming back. She said the guys who they'll never get to see how Golden One can
most likely.
It's hard to believe. Yeah.
All right.
Let's try to end on a positive note. What do you think happens this weekend? NFC Championship, Rams 49ers.
Now there's two ways you can look at it, right? Like, okay, the 49ers have beat the Rams 6 games straight. They're due, right? Like you've had 6 opportunities to game plan. You know exactly what y'all did wrong. Not even just what the 49ers did right, but you know what you did wrong, right? So, but then you look on the other side and you're like, okay, well, the 49ers know exactly what they've done right this whole time, and they're probably going to continue to do that. I think the 49ers are going to win this game. I really do. I just think that the talent level, maybe not in the quarterback position, as we discussed on Sports Sunday all the time, isn't there. But I will say this about Jimmy G, like he's sort of clutch. He's clutch in his own way. Like he'll make a series of mistakes, and then he has the talent to pick him back up. And then when he really needs to deliver, he does. It wasn't like he was something crazy special in 2019. Like we all knew that, but he would make little mistakes. And then when he needed to really make the big plays, my one issue too with Derek Carr was he's getting better at it, is like, he just wasn't clutch. Like when you really needed him to be clutch, he was running out of bounds on 3rd down, not even stretching for a 1st down, which would just make me so mad. But I feel like Jimmy's clutch. He's going to put his body on the line. He's going to do what he has to do. He's going to connect with his receivers when he really, really needs to. So obviously there's no comparison against like quarterback to quarterback, right? But the talent level on the 49ers is outweigh. Well, I don't know. We'll see.
Rams are bad.
The
Rams ball players. They got some ball players.
Yeah, they do have some great football players. That's for sure. They went out and made sure of it. Stafford, Ramsey, Odell Beckham Jr., Von Miller, like on paper, they should be able to beat the 49ers. Like you look at that, and if I'm the Rams and I have all that star power and I can't get through the 49ers, who there are weaknesses, and look at the way the beginning of the season went and the hiccups and stuff. And if you have all that star power and you've already played them, let's just say three times this season, to be fair, right? 3 times.
Twice. They played twice. This is the 3rd time.
Yeah, this is the third time.
This will be the 3rd. Yeah.
This will be the 3rd, but 2 times this season. One was for seeding. That was an important game. And if you can't get this dub, I don't even know what to say.
It's kind of an L. Like the season is an L for the Rams. Like they're supposed to be in the Super Bowl. The 49ers aren't, but the Rams are. And so like I think what you mentioned, all that talent, they fall short. It's an L.
It's not going to be looking good for the Rams. I mean, this is exactly what you wanted if you're a Rams fan. You wanted these big names, and these aren't just like big names for show. These are really big name guys who are making really good money they got to be able to produce, and they got to be able to beat the 49ers. Like, they just have to.
Hey, man, humble hearts, the little engine that could, the San Francisco 49ers. We're just the gritty underdogs that are just trying to make it. We're just going to try and make it a game. That's all we can do.
That's all. He's playing his humble hearts card. Sara, you're the best, man. We appreciate you.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming to hang out with us.
Take care, Sara.
Love you guys so much.
Love you back.